Hi, welcome to Fiction Fingers Fairy Channel. Please subscribe to this channel for more interesting stories. And don't forget to like and share this video. Thank you. After over a month of settling into their new routine, Emma had grown accustomed to her responsibilities. Going to school, working part-time, and helping with household chores had become second nature to her. The earnings from her part-time job were now used to purchase her school necessities and contribute to the household expenses at Mila's home. Mila and her siblings were no different, as they too worked part-time to sustain their family's livelihood, making it a daily routine. "Thank you everyone for your sacrifices in ensuring that we all have enough to eat," expressed Mila's mother gratefully to her family. She sympathized with Emma for having to adapt to their modest lifestyle. However, Emma assured her that she was fine, acknowledging that Mila's family had taken care of her exceptionally well. Yet Emma couldn't help but miss her own family terribly. It had been too long since she had been separated from her parents. "We need to find a way for Emma to return to her parents," said Mila's mother, voicing her concern. "That's true. You've been here for so long, Emma. Your parents must be worried sick about you," added Mila empathetically. Mila's mother turned to Mila, inquiring about the magical mirror. "The enchanted mirror still isn't working?" she asked. "No, Mom. I still can't see Emma's room in the mirror," replied Mila, with a hint of disappointment. The conversation weighed heavily on everyone's minds as they contemplated Emma's predicament. They knew that Emma's longing for her family only grew stronger with each passing day, and they were determined to help her reunite with her parents. That night, before going to bed, Emma found herself having a heartfelt conversation with herself. "I'm sorry, Mom and Dad," she whispered softly into the stillness of the room. "I've often complained about feeling neglected by you both, when in reality you've worked tirelessly to provide me with a comfortable life." Emma's voice wavered with emotion as she reflected on her past grievances. "Mom and Dad, please bring me back to you," she pleaded, her words echoing in the quiet of the night. As Emma spoke, tears welled up in her eyes, the weight of her longing for her parents bearing down on her. She realized the depth of her parents' sacrifices and the love they had always showered upon her, even in her moments of doubt and frustration. With a heavy heart, Emma acknowledged her own shortcomings and the pain she had caused her parents with her complaints and demands. She wished she could turn back time and express her gratitude and love to them more often. As she drifted off to sleep, Emma's heart was heavy with longing and regret. She prayed silently for her parents' forgiveness and for a way to be reunited with them, her words a whispered plea into the darkness of the night. In her dreams, Emma found herself enveloped in the warmth of her parents' embrace, their voices soothing her troubled heart. "We forgive you, Emma," they whispered, their love washing over her like a gentle tide. The following day, Emma woke up with a renewed sense of purpose. "Today is a new day," she whispered to herself, determination shining in her eyes. She resolved to help Mila's family to the best of her abilities while she remained in Mila's world. "I may not be with my own family, but I can still make a difference here," she affirmed, her voice filled with conviction. That day, Emma, Mila, and Mila's siblings went to school as usual. After returning from school, Emma and Mila headed to the grocery store where they worked part-time. "Let's make sure we finish stocking the shelves before closing time," Mila said, grabbing a basket and heading toward the aisle. "Sure, I'll help with organizing the products," Emma replied, rolling up her sleeves and joining Mila. As they worked together, they chatted about their day at school and shared stories from their classes. "I can't believe we have a test next week," Mila exclaimed, stacking cans neatly on the shelves. "I know, it's going to be a busy week," Emma agreed, carefully arranging boxes of cereal on the display. Despite the workload, the two friends enjoyed each other's company as they tackled their tasks with efficiency and teamwork. After completing their shift, they tidied up the store and bid farewell to their colleagues before heading home. "Another day, another dollar," Mila joked, nudging Emma playfully as they walked home together. "Yeah, but at least we're earning money to help out our families," Emma replied with a smile, feeling grateful for the opportunity to contribute to Mila's household. As Mila and Emma left the convenience store after finishing their shift, Little did they expect to come home to such a devastating sight. Their hearts sank as they saw Mila's house engulfed in flames. Panic surged through them as they realized Mila's mother and younger siblings were trapped inside. "Oh my God, what do we do?" Emma exclaimed, her voice trembling with fear. Mila's mind raced as she tried to formulate a plan amidst the chaos unfolding before her eyes. Without hesitation, they rushed towards the blazing inferno, desperate to save their loved ones. The sound of Mila's family's cries for help fueled their determination. Amidst the crackling of the flames, they could hear the desperate pleas for assistance growing louder. "We need to get them out, Emma. We can't just stand here," Mila declared, her eyes ablaze with determination. As they frantically searched for a way to enter the burning building, their neighbors rallied around them, offering support and assistance. "We need to do something. Anything to help," one neighbor shouted, brandishing a bucket of water. Another neighbor appeared with a hose, ready to join the battle against the raging flames. Despite their efforts, the fire seemed relentless, its fury unabated by their attempts to quench it. "We need more help!" Emma cried out, her voice barely audible over the roar of the fire. Mila nodded grimly, her mind racing with the urgency of the situation. With the fire department still en route, every second felt like an eternity. "We have to keep trying, Emma. We can't give up hope," Mila urged, her voice tinged with desperation. Mila, overwhelmed by the sorrow and fear of seeing her mother and younger siblings trapped in the raging inferno, acted impulsively, plunging into the flames that engulfed her home. Her desperation to save them drove her to make a bold and selfless decision, despite the protests of Emma and their neighbors. "Mila, no! You can't do this!" Emma screamed, her voice choked with panic, but Mila's resolve remained unshaken. With adrenaline coursing through her veins, Mila pushed through the intense heat and thick smoke, her vision blurred by tears. Each step forward felt like an eternity as she fought against the flames, driven by a singular purpose: to reach her family and bring them to safety. "Hold on, Mom! I'm coming!" Mila shouted, her voice barely audible over the roar of the fire. As Emma and the neighbors watched in horror, their cries of desperation filled the air, pleading with Mila to reconsider her reckless actions. "Please, Mila, come back, it's too dangerous," they implored, but Mila's determination could not be swayed. With a steadfast resolve, she pressed on, driven by a fierce determination to rescue her loved ones at any cost. Despite the overwhelming odds stacked against her, Mila refused to relent, fueled by the need to protect her family. The intense heat seared her skin, and the acrid smoke filled her lungs, but she forged ahead, propelled by sheer willpower. "I can't lose them!" Mila cried out, her voice strained with anguish, her heart pounding with each passing moment. As Emma witnessed the dire situation unfolding before her, she found herself overwhelmed by a wave of sadness and fear. Tears streamed down her face uncontrollably as she grappled with the terrifying reality of the fire consuming Mila's home. "Oh God, please keep Mila and her family safe," Emma whispered, her voice trembling with anguish, a silent prayer escaping her lips. Unable to contain her emotions, Emma's cries of fear echoed amidst the chaos, a poignant expression of her deep concern for her friend and her family. "Mila, please be okay," she murmured, her heart heavy with worry as she watched the flames rage on, their ferocity seemingly unrelenting. Amidst the frantic efforts of their neighbors to combat the blaze, Emma felt a sense of helplessness wash over her. She longed to do more, to somehow alleviate the suffering and uncertainty that hung thick in the air. "What can I do? How can I help?" she pleaded, her voice tinged with desperation. As the flames raged on, Emma clung to the hope that Mila and her family would emerge unscathed from the ordeal. "Please, let them be safe," she whispered, her fervent prayers mingling with the crackle of the fire and the distant shouts of their neighbors. Suddenly, a series of loud explosions reverberated from the vicinity of the fire, startling everyone nearby. With each powerful blast, the flames seemed to intensify, fueled by the gusting wind, spiraling out of control. The fire surged uncontrollably, spreading rapidly towards the area where Emma and the neighbors stood. Panic gripped them as they realized they were now trapped within the inferno's grasp. "We need to get out of here now!" someone shouted, their voice barely audible over the roar of the flames. As the fire encroached upon them, Emma felt the searing heat lick at her skin, the acrid smoke filling her lungs, making it difficult to breathe. Fear clenched her heart as she struggled to remain calm amidst the chaos unfolding around her. "We have to find a way out!" she gasped, her voice strained with urgency, her eyes darting around frantically for any means of escape. Gradually, everything seemed to fade from Mila's view, as darkness enveloped her. The once vivid scene of chaos and fire now dissolved into an ominous void, leaving her disoriented and helpless. With each passing moment, the darkness seemed to deepen, swallowing any semblance of light or hope. Mila's senses felt dulled, her surroundings becoming increasingly obscure as she struggled to make sense of her surroundings. Panic surged within her as she grappled with the overwhelming sense of isolation and fear that gripped her. In the darkness, Mila's thoughts raced, her mind consumed by a whirlwind of uncertainty and despair. She reached out tentatively, searching for any shred of familiarity or comfort, but found only emptiness. The absence of sound only served to intensify her sense of isolation, leaving her feeling utterly alone in the void. In the depths of darkness, she felt a profound sense of disconnection from the world around her, as if she had been cast adrift in an endless sea of nothingness. Fear gripped her heart, its icy tendrils constricting her chest as she struggled to find her way back to the light. Despite her best efforts to resist, the darkness seemed to seep into every crevice of her being, filling her with a profound sense of despair. To be continued.